Hurley, meanwhile, had rigged his kinematograph camera and was getting pictures of the Endurance in her death throes. While he was engaged thus, the ice driving against the standing rigging and the fore, main, and mizzen masts snapped the shrouds. The foretop and the top gallant mast came down with a run and hung in the wreckage on the foremast, with the foreyard vertical. The mainmast followed immediately, snapping off about 10 feet above the main deck. The crow's nest fell within 10 feet of where Hurley stood, turning the camera, but he did not stop the machine, and so secured a unique, though sad, picture.
Traditional drink from the mountains of the Andes. Watch the sunrise.
Got any eggs?
No fish. So I hear you've never been on a blue fishing boat before, Bakewell.
First time. I've always wanted to, but I didn't think it would be this boring. What do you guys do to pass the time?
You're looking at it. Any deuces? What's real fun though is when we hook a shark.
Oh, well.
Yeah, sometimes we just have to cut the line, but if you can get them in the boat, it pulls up a hell of a fight. It's a funny, old man.
You think that's a fight? Let me tell you a story. Ship I was on got torpedoed. 1,100 men went to the water. Vessel went down.
Oh, I was on a ship that got torpedoed too. Two, actually.
Didn't see the first shark for about half an hour. Tiger, 13 foot. You know how you know that in the water, Chief? You can tell by looking from the dorsal to the tail.
Yeah, so last time week actually we caught a shark. It was a
Very first night, Chief. Sharks come cruising by. So we formed ourselves into tigers. The idea was the shark come to the nearest man. That man, he starts a pounding and a hollering. And sometimes that shark, he go away. Sometimes he go away. Sometimes that shark looks right at you, right into your eyes. And the thing about a shark is he got lifeless eyes. Black eyes, like doll's eyes. When he comes at you, he doesn't even seem to be living until he bites you. And those black eyes roll over white. And you hear the terrible high-pitched screaming. The ocean turns red. And despite all your pounding, all your howling, those sharks come in and they rip you to pieces.
So, Bakewell.
You know, by the end of that first dawn, lost 100 men. I don't know how many sharks there were, maybe 1,000. I do know how many men. They averaged 6 an hour. 1,100 men went to the water. 316 come out. Sharks took the rest. Oh, good. Is it my turn?
Thank you for bringing me glimpses of the unknown and guiding me in my personal journey. I'm eternally grateful. My hero, William Bakewell. He was honest and virtuous. Will, his friends and family called him that. He was sharp, a vital man for his 70s, and I was a young lad of 13. Life was different then. From our friendship, I was allowed to help with the family chores after school and on weekends. My family and I had just moved to Dukes, Michigan, thanks to Elizabeth Rahala. daughter of the Bakewells, I had the fortune of spending a good time of my life with William Bakewell and his wife Merla in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. There's so many fond memories of them. He didn't speak much about his adventures, but when he did, I hung on to his every single word. And for a fraction of a moment, I lived the travels of a seaman on tall sailing ships to places beyond my own comprehension. There was no doubt in my mind that many a man owes their lives to William Bakewell. This man was the only American participant in this great British-Irish exploration, which speaks volumes about what an exceptional individual he was. 3 cheers to this great explorer, adventurer, and human being. Hip, hip,
Hooray!
hip, hip,
Hooray!
hip, hip,
Hooray!
All right. So the Endurance encountered the ice again at 1 a.m. on the 10th. Good job, assistant. Lows pack stretched to the east and the south, with open water to the west and a good water sky. It consisted partly of heavy, hummocky ice, showing evidence of great pressure, but also contained thick, flat flows, evidently, formed in some sheltered bay and never subjected to pressure to much motion. I think you got it. All right, there? Yeah. see you'll meet again. And after it's onward, so put on your warmest wool. Morale is always high, and here's the reason why. We're gonna get there, we're gonna sit there on the other southern shore. Adventures galore, like no man has known before. We'll need endurance and self-assurance. We'll need an anchor for tomorrow. I think that all this ice is awfully nice, but nevertheless we're plowing through it. There's nothing to it, and we've only just begun. I just can see a way the rain never washes away when we're having fun. We're gonna get there, we're gonna sit there on the other southern shore. Adventures galore, like no man has known before. We'll need endurance and self-assurance. We need an anchor for tomorrow. I think that all this ice is awfully nice, but nevertheless we're plowing through it. There's nothing to it, and we've only just begun. I just can see a way the rain never washes away when we're having fun.
Alone, alone, all alone. Alone on a wide, wide sea. And never a saint took pity on my soul in agony. The many men so beautiful, and they all dead did lie, and 1,000 slimy things lived on. And so did I. I looked upon the rotting scene, and drew my eyes away. I looked upon the rotting deck, and there the dead men lay. I looked to heaven and tried to pray, but wherever a prayer had gushed, a wicked whisper came, and made my heart as dry as dust. I closed my lids and kept them close, and the balls like pulses beat, for the sky and the sea and the sea and the sky lay dead like a load on my weary eye, and the dead were at my feet. The cold sweat melted from their limbs, nor rot nor reek did they. That look which they packed on me have never passed away. An orphan's curse would drag to hell the spirit from on high. But oh, more horrible than that is the curse in a dead man's eye. 7 days, 7 nights I saw that curse, and yet I could not die.
August of 1915 was a month of pressure. In this moment in time, the ship had experienced heavy bouts of pressure that woke them from their beds and startled them awake to ice clashing against the ship. Pressure to survive the rest of the voyage while the ship is attacked time and time again by icy waters, causing the post and rudder to become damaged.
Flash of lightning lighted up the bay, and we could see a man in the barge, and we saw a streak of lightning strike the water a short distance from the barge. It ran along the water and struck the barge. A terrific explosion rent the air. It knocked us off our feet, and where the barge lay a few seconds before, a tongue of flame sprang into the heavens, the black smoke of a reflection of lightning back. It was more terrible than birds themselves. There right before our eyes, men were being consumed in a terrible fire. And we were helpless to give them any aid. I doubt if there was any life left after that. We did not see any bodies anywhere in the water. There were 2 blubber stoves
Whiskey Johnny,
made from old oil drums.
whiskey for my Johnny-O.
When the blizzard was unusually severe,
Whiskey Johnny,
we tried to cook inside the hut.
whiskey for my Johnny-O.
No escape for the blubber smoke.
Whiskey Johnny,
The inmates had a really bad time.
whiskey for my Johnny-O.
Some affected with smoke blindness,
Whiskey Johnny,
painful and requiring medical help.
whiskey for my Johnny-O.
Chimney was soon fitted,
Whiskey Johnny,
made out of an old biscuit case.
whiskey for my Johnny-O.
Passed through a close-fitting tin grommet sewn into the canvas of the room just between the keels of the 2 boats.
Whiskey Johnny,
And the smoke nuisance was a thing of the past.
whiskey for my Johnny-O.
never seen anything like it before or since. Nor do I ever expect to.
A more perfect panorama, I do not believe could exist.
For miles and miles to the north and south, there was nothing to obscure my view.
The sun was reflecting a million sparkling colors on the
Snow-capped peaks of the Andes.
I wish I had the vocabulary sufficient to express the beauty, grandeur, and magnificence of the scene.
Light, feathery clouds floating over the sun would shroud the picture much the same as a curtain in the theater. Makes a change from one scene to another, only to show off the grandeur more perfectly each time.
I doubt if any artist could do its majestic beauty full justice, or any author describe it adequately.
That day is one that I shall remember as long as I live. For in it I received the biggest surprise I have ever had.
Mother Nature had exhibited her beauty before me.
And as I lay very comfortably in my blankets,
I became so engrossed in looking at the wild, majestic beauty before me.
That I did not hear, as my back was to them, or see the group of riders approaching. The first I knew of their presence was the greeting.
Hola, amigo!
This brought me out of my trance.
and upon looking around, I saw 7 horsemen but a few rods from me.
I recognized him as an old acquaintance whom I had met in
Gerlach, Nevada.
As I stood up to greet them, I greeted him with,
Hello,
Hello,
Gerlach Red. He just about fell off his horse and greeted me with, well,
I'm
I'm damned if it ain't Montana. How in the hell do you get down to this part of the world?
I answered him by asking the same question.
For the next few minutes,
we tried to tell how it happened.
both of us talking at the same time.
Been to Joliet, Illinois, CME, Michigan, Baltimore, Norfolk, Lisbon, Montana, New York, St. Louis, San Francisco, Amsterdam, San Juan, Puerto Rico, Dakar, Senegal, Santiago, Chile, Buenos Aires, Argentina, Uruguay, Cuba, all around America. I've been everywhere, I've been everywhere, man. Breathing mountain air, man. Trouble I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere.
Tremble went through the ship, and I could not think what had happened. British seamen are noted for being very disorderly and awful prowlers, but in emergency they are very cool. The ship was hit near the boiler room, and several of the men below were lost. The steam was rushing up from the engine, and the boiler room, so the order was given to launch the boats! Launch the boats! Launch the boats!
my honey, better hurry to Elephant Island. Ain't you going? Ain't you going on the waterman? Need the waterman. Oh my honey, oh my honey, let me take you out of darkness. Grandstand, give me a hand. Ain't you rolling along? Come on and smile, come on and smile. Darling, dark, grandstand, come a while. Come on and smile, come on and smile. It's only 100 miles. We can feel all the cold like you never felt before. So numb that we're longing for the dawn. Cracked lips, swollen mouths, and burning tongues. Oh, honey lamb, come on along, come on along. The ice is building along the sides. Up to the bow, we're breaking now. And now the question is how we're making it to land in water. Such a good time. Come on along, Johnny Rock, I stand come wild. Ooh.
All the conditions in the Weddell Sea are unfavorable from the navigator's point of view. The winds are comparatively light, and consequently new ice can form, even in the summertime. The absence of strong winds has the additional effect of allowing the ice to accumulate in masses, undisturbed.
dinosaur that walked on the entire Earth can be found. That dinosaur's name is Argentinosaurus.
be performing the song of Red the Outlaw. You start. You go ahead and play anything. Play a chord, but you only have to play one chord at a time, and then I will sing my song with you. So you go right ahead. We talked a great deal about outlaws, and it was in one of these conversations that I first heard of an outlaw I shall call Red. Back around the year 1905, in the northern part of Montana, a rancher's son was accused of killing a calf. He was arrested and put in jail. He claimed he was innocent, but he was tried and convicted. He escaped, and some say he went to Canada. But did he? One night I stopped in Lismus, Montana. In the bunkhouse there were 3 other men, one of whom I did not know. From one of the men I knew, I learned that the stranger was a brother of Red, and they resembled each other very much. During the next 2 years I drifted around Montana, Idaho, and Nevada. I often heard of an outlaw. There was a price on his head, and his description always answered Reds. In November of 1913, I landed in the town of Gerlach, Nevada. I was cold, tired, and hungry. I put my horse in a livery barn and went to look for something to eat. I ordered a drink for the house and a fellow sitting behind the stove. On the wood box, I thought I had seen the stranger before, but as I could not remember where, I did not say anything until I was sure.
Hunting in Patagonia is different. We don't need rifles. It's very easy. A bola is all you need. 3 bags. 1, 2, 3. Filled with shot. And a piece of rawhide. 3 feet long. Fastened to each bag, 3 ends of the rawhide fastened with a knot. Each thrower holds in his hand. He swings the bola over his head and lets it go in the direction of the animal he wishes to catch. I was unsuccessful, but the men caught several cacanos. Patagonia. Then on to Agua Chico.
During our first night ashore, we had a funny experience. About 9 o'clock, we heard bugles blowing, and the soldiers all disappeared in double quick order. We thought that it was their call to return to camp, but we were mistaken. As we soon discovered, a red cap ordered us aboard our ship, telling us that there would be an air raid before long, and then we'd better beat it. Well, the going was good.
Would you two like to learn how to fish? release fisherman. That's good. You did. Thank you. You're saving these fishermen. That's I should. Oh, we gotta sing. I don't know why they were starving. This is so many fish. Wow. You guys are excellent fishermen and women. Thank you. The whimsy's over. We're gonna leave this right here. You guys can gaze upon your work. So, of course, in due time, the right girl came along
And said yes to the questions asked by the sky pilot
and signed on a ship called Matrimony.
for a lifelong cruise.
And after a while, one more joined the crew.
A little brown-eyed baby girl.
Mazel tov.
My ramblings are done now. In a way of dreams during the evenings, in the good ship easy chair. Well, that bus is stopping. Here's where I get off. So long.
Thank you to Emmett.
I want to go back to Michigan.
Yeah, don't we all?